Glad to see you back for more. And if it's your first time, stay tuned for facts, action, insight, and a smoke flavor-filled podcast. It's All Day with JJ. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? I know it's been quite a bit since the last time you've seen an episode from me. Just been traveling a lot, handling things outside of the podcast. So without further ado, I got another episode packed for you. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And hope everybody's staying safe. Bam! Back at it again with yet another All Day with JJ episode, man. Got a guest for those of you who are viewing on the tube. As always, man, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. We got another heated episode for you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce my guest. First and foremost, I'll let you introduce yourself before I get into the thick of things.
My name is Kamal Hopewell, 20 years old, born and raised in the A, Union City, South Fulton. Rapping.
That boy put his whole age on this bad boy. So, as always, I kind of like to bring in guests, especially people who, I've met throughout my years. And me and Kamal actually have the opportunity of coaching together high school football right now. But to kind of just give you an idea of some of the topics that we're actually going to be discussing today, I actually let the guests come up with the 3 topics. Are we in the end times? Next generation, is it screwed? And what's up with the hip-hop generation going on? So, although this is normally a sports cast, I kind of like to do a little family and friends episode as well. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. And first and foremost, I just kind of want to open it up with, where did you get these topics from, and what generated you to want to bring them things on the episode?
I mean, low-key, I was just at work thinking about what's some interesting shit. I was watching YouTube videos, I'd be watching other podcasts sometimes.
Facts.
And just I'd be seeing some stuff they talk about, so I was like, seemed interesting. Might as well throw it in there.
Facts. For sure. Let me just turn your mic up a little bit more.
Try to speak into it more.
Pull it to you. Yeah, you good right there. Right. Say something. A little test.
Test.
Yeah, you sound like I'm just playing. So if we in the end times, bro, what kind of gives you the idea of us being in the end times? Is it just everything that's going on with social media? Everything that's just going on with our political? And I'm looking at it from an American standpoint. Like, what in your eyes makes you think that we might be in the end times?
Well, I think the divide is the biggest it's been, because even before social media, usually people was just in their communities and stuff, so it was still tight knit enough. But now with social media, it's everybody be warring. You got people having opinions that don't really know what they talking about. There's a lack of leaders. Really, outside of Trump, what political figure really gathered the people like that?
So, okay. First and foremost, do you have, and are you big into social media?
Yeah, I say I'm decently in it.
Big time?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like social media in general, it kind of sparks a lot of things in our generation as far as business ideas. I mean, you got a lot of people that can become influencers and just automatically make a lot of money.
Right.
So, end times, I mean, we don't necessarily have to bring religion on here, but the Bible talks about Revelations, which is where the world's just on fire, everything's just ending. This is a hell of a topic, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I was not prepared for this. Everybody tuning in, I was not prepared for this. Are we in the end of times topic? Do you think social media, since I did bring that up, is one of the number one pillars of us possibly going into the end times?
I definitely think so, because now I'm thinking about it, because in the I forget exactly which book it's in or which verse it is, but it basically talks about how in the end times the roles with men and women will switch.
Yeah.
And where the men will become more feminine, the women become more masculine. And then when we talk about social media, I think it's interesting because it directly kind of attacks women, because they like attention. I'm not going to bash them for it, but with social media, a lot of these hoes will take Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter over having a boyfriend. Or just and not only will that strain relationships, but the fact that they're being targeted like that is proof that they're being weaponized against us.
So you can you have a female that's hardcore in her social media, that's making all her bank and stuff off of social media, being an influencer?
I mean, you can date one, marry her. I don't think you'll be happy though.
Really?
I don't think so.
You want to dive into that? Why not? You think she'll just be dedicated to the hustle more than she will be to you? I
mean, yeah. Think about it. A woman can't have a career and a family. Because even if it's a career, it's usually centered around that family somehow, being a teacher, educator, maybe medical field, possibly something like that.
So you said a woman can't have a career without. Can a man have a career without a family, or with a family?
With a family, yeah. I mean, that's how it's been traditionally. When, you know, men, they're the breadwinners. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be like that. But.
So I mean, if you have a woman who's a breadwinner though, and you have a man who stay-at-home pops, the woman technically can't have the career and the family in the same sense. You just switch the roles.
Yeah. So like you say, switching the roles. So that way, the man or the dad would be taking care of the kids, which is usually what you want the mom to do. But obviously, if they're upset, like they want it to happen, they can do that. But
I kind of definitely see what you're saying to that note, because
like y'all both can't be high earners going out getting that bag, because not only will it not work personality between y'all two, like y'all both will have opinions and shit.
It'll be conflict.
But then who's gonna raise the kids? Like you gonna get
I was just about to say,
nannies, some shit like that.
Ain't gonna lie, I do have a couple buddies who kind of were in that instance where nannies did raise them all the way from the jump, and you can kind of see the direct effect to those people based off of their connections with their parents being so little to none. So, okay, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that opinion, that point of view. But relating it back to, are we in the end times? So, we say social media is definitely one of those main pillars. Do you think you could think of any one or two other pillars that might also be associated with it? Because I could give you one right now. I could tell you that the pure fact that our warfare is just so far advanced, and you look at things like cybersecurity as well as nuclear warfare, I feel like the next world war, hopefully praying, unless it might honestly, let's not even forget about things like COVID, and you think about biological warfare. I'm praying that it would be something more so on the cybersecurity side, because I feel like if we enter into a nuclear world war, that's the end times. So that's my viewpoint. What do you think are some of the other pillars that might be catalyst to we're in the end times besides social media, since that low-key could just be a big pillar as well as just something that everybody can see? Like what are your viewpoints on what other pillars that we might have that are in the end times?
I mean, you're definitely right with like the bio warfare and the cybersecurity. Yeah. That's basically a whole field that a lot of people ain't really tapped in yet. Like, we're still learning a lot about it. Like we just seen with AI, how they're basically saying once it's going to get to a point pretty soon where it's going to surpass us in intelligence.
Really, but I think that's because I think it's however far humans want to take artificial intelligence will determine how far AI truly goes.
You think they're gonna regulate it though?
I mean, honestly, the government might try to regulate anything, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you do whatever you want inside your own home. Okay. But then again, I mean, it depends on how deep you want to go with this rabbit hole, because honestly, you could have conversations saying that the CIA is tapping into everything that we do. When you just look at things like our cell phones, our computers, right? I mean, those are GPS systems. They definitely know where we are located. And honestly, these things have mics, so I mean, the CIA could be listening to this conversation right now. Right. So relating that back to, are they gonna regulate artificial intelligence? I'm gonna let you answer it. I'm gonna let you answer your own question before I take a stab at it.
They definitely gonna regulate it to a degree. Like, not everybody's gonna have the ability to use the most advanced AI, because when it gets to, they call it the horizon point, it's like physics with a black hole. I'm trying to think exactly how it worked. Cause like when you can't go into a black hole, because then you wouldn't exist. Like,
yeah, I think it's all about the orbital rotation of the black hole, the gravitational pull.
Yeah, and then when it comes to AI, the horizon point is like how far we can see, like, oh, we're keeping up with the AI. It's intelligent because of this. Like, we programmed it. But then they got AI programming AI now, so it's like once it gets to the point where it's more advanced than us, because it's gonna happen. So we're not gonna understand why it's more advanced.
So it'll just continuously develop its own offspring, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. How long do you think until that happens, or until a regulation has to be set in place? We talking 5 years, 10 years?
I say within 20 years. 20 years, like next generation.
So we're in 2023. That'll be in 2043, basically.
Somewhere around there, if not sooner.
I'm not gonna lie. Even in the 80s, I mean, they had movies coming out about movies in the 2020, like Back to the Future and things like that, where cats would be in spaceships. But we technically still aren't. Well, there are flying cars. Let me take that back. There definitely are flying cars. So, okay, you said social media, artificial intelligence. We gotta hit 3 pillars. We gotta hit number 3. So, what do you think the third pillar is to basically generate the reason as to why we are in the end times, in your opinion?
Honestly, probably like progressive thought. like liberalism, but I'm not trying to like just bash Democrats or whatever. It's like liberalism in the fact that once you go so far from certain traditions, certain norms, everything becomes normalized, and that's usually the signs of the end of a civilization. Like when men start becoming women, like I'm trying to be as nice as possible, but the Bible literally says that these are signs that your civilization
of the end times,
like Sodom and Gomorrah, like.
So. Oh, this could be a very spicy conversation, but this could go anywhere, because I feel like you hitting some major points. You might be hitting some pivotal points.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to demonetize you or whatever. Like.
This is your episode. This is your episode. You know, everybody tuning in, everybody that I have who comes on the platform, man, I kind of just give them free reins of, you know, the different ideas and the different things that they would like to talk about as far as discussing. And 9 times out of 10, you know, like I said, more than not, this more so will be sports oriented, but I also like to have the family and friends edition as well, to basically give a realm of anything or open up the world to talk about or discuss anything. And Miles bringing on some very serious topics of conversation right now. We jumping right into it. I mean, if you aren't tuned in now, you definitely should be. Or if you aren't tuned in now, you definitely should shake in, because, whew. So let's get back into the conversation. So basically, with everything that's going on in the current world, you're saying that, I mean, the Bible talks about specific points that are relating to the end times. Speaking about, like, you know, men wanting to be women and vice versa, or just people, you know, wanting to be different things that they might not have originally came into this world as. How do you feel like us as a human population can counteract that, or can change things like that? Or how do you feel like us as a human population could put a stop to the progressive transition into end times?
Well, I think it's hard to put like a leash on it now, just because, I mean, when it talks about end times, it talks about like this is how it's going to happen. Like, as most people, they would say that like progressive thought, like the not hurting feelings or that everybody's opinions is valid. Like, that's kind of widely accepted now, not just in the West, but even parts in the East. Like, it's definitely a shift that I don't know if we can really rein back.
Do you think other countries like European countries and Asian countries are more advanced in placing regulations on things like this than the States are? I
mean, for sure, because China, you can't even look at certain things on TikTok. Like, it's all education. Like, they don't want you seeing dumb bullshit.
I mean, and, you know, China owns TikTok, which is kind of crazy, because they say people are using that to basically spy into the Americas.
But somebody said China just surpassed us as like an economic superpower or something like that.
Really? I hate to be honest, bro. I think China might be our biggest threat as far as superpowers.
No, for real.
Like, if we go into a different world war, like, you know, we got the thing going on with Russia and Russia trying to invade Ukraine and things like that. But I honestly think, due to just pure manpower and population, China for sure is definitely one of the biggest, I hate to use the word threats, but like somebody that American citizens should be aware of as far as being other superpowers. Because, I mean, we kind of grew up in a country where you automatically think that, you know, you're the cream of the crop, you're in the best, you're in the best country, you live in the best environments, you come from the best, you know, economics when you talk about things like food, money, things like that. So China definitely is on the horizon as being a superpower and possibly surpassing us. I mean, do you ever think about that? Things like that ever scare you?
I mean, it doesn't really scare me, because it's like, if we're gonna go to war, like, I remember you was talking about it earlier in that car, like, we got all the nukes, all the weapons, like, shit really gonna get crazy if somebody tries something. So I don't think they're gonna do that.
Well, the thing is, if we go, like I said earlier, bro, if we go to nuclear warfare, it's the end of humanity. Because if for everybody still tuning in, still chopped in, do your research on nuclear weapons, because I think once the first nuke is released, the amount of damage that will be done by that first nuke, unless it's released on some specific country that doesn't have the means necessary to fight back, once one nuke is released, the amount of damage that is done from the amount of multiple nukes is insane. It's basically correlated to like 4 natural disasters happening at once.
I mean, that's why I think it's going to be either bio or cyber security, like you were saying,
to at least keep humanity moving. You know what I mean? I mean, do you think we have any major world leaders specifically like, you know, Russian or Chinese leaders that might interact with nuclear warfare, in your opinion, based off of what you've seen just off of political news?
I mean, just off of political news, optics, like it would be a bad look for anybody to launch a nuke. Because then once you launch the nuke, it's like, oh shit, somebody's gonna launch the next one. Like, so you don't want to be that first one. I don't think nobody wants to be that first one.
Whew, I mean, you can date back to a lot of different things as far as looking at history. They just came out with the Oppenheimer movie to showcase.
I still ain't even seen that.
The stuff that was dropped back in the 40s. Craziness, but I think this is a good point to go ahead and dive into the next topic, which is the next generation. So next generation being the kids coming up in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Do you think that these kids are screwed in a certain way, and why?
I mean, yeah, just because like they grown up with technology, they grown up with like easy access, easy capabilities, like they could just kind of get something when they want it. And so when they get out of the home and they got to provide for themselves, not only will they have trouble providing for themselves, it's like being able to be self-sustaining. Yeah, they're probably gonna have trouble finding like relationships because everybody gonna be online type shit.
Well, to that note though, I feel like a lot of generations that came before us, like our parents, grandparents, forefathers, things like that, I'm pretty sure they kind of had the same questions or the same ideas as far as us as being screwed. I mean, honestly, you could say that we already are screwed as a generation when you look at, like I said, the social media impact, dating it back to that conversation earlier. But I mean, we kind of already have everything to our, like, we're kind of already easily accessible to everything, to anything. I mean, you look at all the types of search engines that we could just pop up on our cell phone. I mean, we have a walking internet with us. Thanks. A walking GPS, like I said earlier. So what more is there for the next generation? I mean, holograms, you want to talk about bringing people back from the dead? I guess, like I said, this is a rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole conversation that there are endless ideas. So,
well, I think it's more so the concern that because they're being indoctrinated by what they're seeing on their phones, because let's face it, most of us get information by phones, what we see, television.
Yeah, all from the screen.
And all so from the screen. When they've lived their whole lives like that and kind of have grown up, like, because I didn't even grow up with the screen for it. Like, sure, I watched cartoons, but I didn't get a phone, like something to go on the internet till maybe middle school. Like, they've been growing up with this. Middle school is
normally around the ages of like 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's kind of 6th, 7th grade era. Yeah, I didn't get my first cell phone to 7th grade. So are you gonna have, let me ask you this before I ask that, do you want kids?
Eventually, yeah.
Are you gonna allow your kids to be on tablets and things like that? I feel like but see, there's so many pros and cons that come from the phone, the screen, the tablet era, because you could easily teach yourself a lot of great, valuable information, but there could also be a lot of subliminal messages. Kind of like people said there were subliminal messages in the cartoons. Like, go back and look at the Disney shows. You see all the sexual innuendos.
Disney was some freaky shit. Disney was some freaky shit.
So, are you gonna let your kids have things like a tablet? And if so, what age?
I think if I do give them a tablet, it's got to be like 5th grade, like going into middle school probably.
Okay. But do you feel like, okay, because look, I've got a buddy, right, who basically wasn't allowed to have any sort of technology until basically he was about to graduate high school.
Damn.
Yeah, craziness. But he still was able to access it through his friends. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, that's the other concern, because it's like they don't have it, somebody else is gonna have it.
And also you also got to remember, who's to say, like, you know, we both been to college. Some of those kids who were basically sheltered their entire careers, as far as elementary all the way up to high school, once they got to college and kind of were on their own, bro, they kind of went wild. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's more so not necessarily the next generation might be screwed. We might be screwed when you look at trying to regulate and provide the correct parenthood to try to grow these kids up in a country, in a world, in an atmosphere like this, right? So it's like, necessarily the next generation is really dependent, in my opinion, it's dependent on us, on how we try to implement different things to try to help our kids grow to the best of their abilities, right?
I mean, if they play a sport, they'll be straight. Because they're either going to be good, they're going to be ass.
So what happens if the kid is ass? Like,
find something else. Can't be ass at everything.
So do you consider something like chess a sport?
Yeah. Yeah,
So as long as they do an extracurricular activity,
there's something you can devote some type of time, like energy into. That's like sport talent, something like that.
and that alone will try to help you be pulled away. So what about esports?
Esports. I mean, I guess that counts. That's just like
That's screens though. That's tablets. What if you cold as hell?
because like if dudes take a certain amount of skill to be the best at that shit, so if like that's your motivation to compete with niggas to be the best, and I can see it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But you still okay. We got games like League of Legends, multiple games, right, where you can have multiple characters and they can exemplify multiple things. I mean, if you want to relate that to everything that's going on in today's world, you have people who might identify as an object. So it's like, who's to say that these esports are not related to people identifying as an object? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a hard question. I'm glad you brought this conversation up, because a lot of people want to say, like you said earlier, the next generation is screwed, but it's really, bro, it's us. Like we are going to make the offspring of the next generation, and the next generation is going to follow whatever we do. That's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's a tough one, boy. Yeah, you came on a pod and put some information on here that I wasn't even ready for.
I gotta spread the gospel.
I ain't gonna lie to you, fool. So, okay, you do want kids. You haven't really figured out how you would necessarily regulate things like if a kid was cold at esports. But as far as the next generation, give me 1 to 2 things that you think could help either put a halt to everything that's happening into progressive times, or just give me some ideas that you think might help us as a humanity regulate the next generation.
I mean, I think it starts when they're a child, like in the home. Like, I think first it takes a good, strong family unit to have like a good foundation basis. Mm-hmm. Then maybe from that community, so like people would say school, church, like a sports team, something like that. You can, so they're familiar with people, so they don't become like neats. They got this inside all day type shit.
Neats, that's what they are. That's what the definition of neat is.
Not neat. I forget what it like. It's NEET. I forget what it stands for, but it's like this incel type shit. Like you inside all day.
Where did you first hear that term, neat?
Probably like anime.
You big anime guy?
Oh yeah, that's all I did in high school.
You think anime has a? Speaking of anime, how did you access anime?
Like phone, TV.
I know you wasn't accessing no anime through no comic books. So
I mean, I was reading manga.
Do you think anime has a lot of different meanings inside?
I mean, definitely. There's some positive things you can find. There's definitely some negative ass shit you can find too. Do
you think, as far as regulating the next generation, there would have to come in things like screen regulations? Like, would you regulate your child from only allowing them? Okay, say for example, you give them a tablet in the middle school era. So they like 10, 11, 12. I mean, I'm pretty sure 5th grade is when you start learning about things like sexual education. So you definitely, like, hormones are going crazy. Puberty is going insane. In that time period, would you be like, all right, I'll give you the tablet, but you can only look at the tablet for 2 to 3 hours a day?
I'm not gonna lie, I might give my child to talk, like the whole porn thing, like off rip. Like as soon as they get the tablet, I'm like, all right, this tablet, you can use it for potential, have fun and all this, but there is a whole evil world. Cause I'm be real with them. Cause think about it, pornography is usually like when things start going downhill from there. Like as a child, you pretty much cool until you learn about sex. Like that's really how it works. That's really how it works.
Oh, when you start figuring out about the different things that kind of lead you into a different world, bro.
And that's why, like, when people get abused, like as kids, it's pretty bad.
So how early do you give your child to talk?
Well, I'm saying that once I give them the tablet, I'm gonna tell them the possibilities. Like, yes, you can do this and that, but be careful, because if you go, I'm gonna try to tell them, like, don't go on these sites. I'm gonna put regulations and all that. But
I was gonna say there are certain apps that you can regulate.
But I'm saying I will tell them the reason why I'm regulating this.
Do you not think that that'll spark a curiosity in the child though? It's like, dang, Pop said I can't go on here, so what is this?
Because it's like you have to hammer.
It's
in
tough, bro. It's so tough when you look at our generation and our offspring. It is so tough because I think that even relates back to when you have a child who is sheltered and you tell them, let's say you tell them, boom, don't go on here. Like, I mean, I've got some friends who are, in their specific ministries where they would just prefer to homeschool their kids based off of everything that, they've encountered within the world. And my thing is, I support anything and everything that you want to do within your own household, as long as it isn't, related to anything that's like bad or evil or violence, something like that. But once these kids leave from under your roof, because they will, we both did, everybody has to. You're gonna encounter some real world things, bro. And at the end of the day, it's like you're gonna have to make your own decisions.
I mean, that's why it starts in the family. Because think about it, like if you have a son, you know, a dad.
Yeah.
The son learns from the dad, and then usually if you have a daughter, the dad protects the daughter until they're ready to set him out in the world type.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's kind of, I say women are kind of like weaponized now, because it's like as soon as they go away from their family, they thrown into this whole world of like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
When it's like, before and traditionally, I'm not trying to say women stay in the kitchen, but they were raised in the home, and then they were like married like pretty soon, pretty early, while they were still young.
Yeah.
That way, you know, they wouldn't go out, become whores, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. So, do you think we have to get back to traditional ways in order to stop the chaos?
I mean, to a degree. Like, I'm not saying everybody gotta, like, you don't have to stay in the kitchen. You gotta do everything a nigga says.
You can have your own career as long as it works towards your specific home life.
I think so.
Okay.
If you don't have a career that's centered around the kids, I think it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Not just for the kids, but for the husband too.
So basically, everything up under the household, the parents should at least be on the same accord when it comes to generating the growth of the kids, because the kids are our future.
Right.
I like that. Okay, I like that.
And the whole point is like, when you have kids, shouldn't it be to continue the legacy? Mm-hmm. So once you have the legacy, you got to do your best to protect it, nurture it. Like that's the potential right there.
So okay, speaking of protect, nurturing, and legacy, let's dive into hip hop right now. How do you feel? Because Mal actually currently is an artist. Be putting together some beats.
SW_36. That's my IG. Go check it out. I'm gonna start dropping music.
Make sure. I'm gonna actually probably drop it up under this episode as a link. Who is your favorite artist out right now, and who's your favorite artist of all time?
Ooh, all right. Favorite artist out right now.
You honestly don't have to give me a number one. You could just give me an idea or a group of people.
I like Lucky. He's not really like mainstream for real, but
I think you told me this. Yeah.
Like getting there.
Okay.
All time, probably Kendrick, just because he's the one who really got me into the world of like hip hop, rap. And like once I found Kendrick, I just became like, I wanted to learn all like about rap, underground music, R&B, like just different types of music.
Yeah. Okay. So Kendrick was all time, and Lucky's your current one.
Yeah.
Do you say you pretty much try to embody Lucky in your current like artist, like in your current work?
I wouldn't say I try to embody him, just cause like
you want to be your own person.
Yeah, I want to have my own style,
your own platform, your own brand.
I definitely take a bit of inspiration just cause like he's probably one of the most relatable rappers.
For sure.
It's like just talks about feeling, like talking about what he's gone through. Like,
for sure.
The most vulnerable type shit.
So do you think hip hop is dead?
I don't think it's dead. Like I think there's so much of it. Cause the only reason I said that, cause a lot of people will say, "Oh, hip hop doesn't have a number one song or something." So it's like everyone's like, "I haven't heard Drake drop nothing yet for real," but
I think it. This is another tough conversation, boy. Hey, everybody, give it up for Mal coming onto the pod, bro, and dropping some very high level, thoughtful topics, bro. I really didn't do my homework. I'm not gonna lie, I did not do my homework. But when you look at hip hop, bro, I feel like, okay, since you brought up Drake, I think Drake is honestly should be considered as one of the top 5 of all time.
I mean, yeah.
Just because of his relatability, the kid is steadily dropping stuff from the past 15, 20 years.
I mean, he's been at the top for like 10 years.
At least
now?
10 years, bro. At least 10 years.
I don't see him going down anytime soon.
At least 10 years. But I feel like hip hop, man, it's kind of tough because you got people like Sexy Red, Lotto coming on here doing remixes of certain songs that are just straight vulgar, that's kind of relating back to, you know, kids having access to things on screens. But if you look at 90s hip hop, bro, I feel like the rap was way more influential when you look at cats dropping on the beat, showing their lyrical skills and actually talking about what they was going through. I hate to be honest, bro, but the mainstream rap now is, well, okay, before I say, what do you think mainstream rap, like, what do you think mainstream rap is about right now?
I mean, mainstream rap right now is just sales. Like, who can make the best TikTok song, who can make the most appealing to the audience, who we can make the most money off it. I mean, that's all these music industries are doing.
Yeah.
When they sign artists, it's like, I just keep making stuff. Like, if it hits, it's cool, and then If not, then you'll be gone
But
in the scene.
more so, let me ask you this: the context behind most of the mainstream rock or mainstream hip hop rap.
Yeah, it's definitely like this. It pushes a certain image.
Bro, it's straight up pushing one image.
Yeah.
The streets. You feel me? If you're not coming out with that hardcore, and I'm talking about cats who aren't even associated with that lifestyle or listening to this hip hop, like, yeah, it's hard. Right. This, and you can't even relate to it in any sort of fashion. Which is why I want to give you kudos to guys like Kendrick. I mean, relatable to guys like J. Cole, who spitting actual images when they rap. You know what I mean? They relating it to past experiences. You know, talking about J. Cole when he had the first time he was getting ready to, smash. You know what I mean? Sitting in school, sitting in class, things like that. I'm not gonna lie. My favorite rapper right now is Rod Wave. And Robbie, a lot of people say Robbie on a lot of sad boy stuff. He really do. But I like it just because the beats be hard. You know what I mean? But and to respect guys like Lucky and things like that, bro, I don't think hip hop is dead. I don't think hip hop will ever be dead because I think it's just a culture. It's a brand.
Never gonna die.
It just will continuously evolve. I just think right now, the hip hop world is just money, females, guns. You know what I mean? Flashy. Who can relate, and then you have underground rappers who kind of relate or who kind of rap about specific hard times that they went through in the past, but I feel like once they hit mainstream, they start conforming.
I mean, yeah, that's what when they get signed, all these labels, businesses just be like, I push out this and that. Like, they don't give them the chance to truly fledge out and grow as an artist.
So, with you being an artist right now, would you sign a label?
I mean, obviously, if like a label walked up right now and like said, sign here, I'd probably sign it.
Like YSL right now.
I mean, maybe not YSL, but even if it's so YSL, I mean, that's a bag right there, and I'm not.
So you signing for the bag, like you.
But I'm saying, like, I wanted, like, because a part of me, like, who's the artist, would be like, no, I don't want to sign. I don't want him to take control. But it's like, if reality hit, them niggas like bag. Right
so they
here.
come put $1 million on the table right now, but 10 years down the road, your stuff really worth $60 million, but you only got $1 million for it. You're not looking at. See, okay. This is what you know what? Shout out. This I'm gonna bring this quote into play before you make a comment. Manny Yacho, sports commentator. This is a sports show every now and then. Came out and said that people will give up what they want in the long run for what they want now. And I'm not gonna lie, if somebody came in here and dropped $1 million on the table, I'm taking it. I'm taking that milli though, but I more so want to say. It's more so about what you would do with that milli, right? Mm-hmm. So back to you, Kamal, because this was originally targeted at you as far as a question-based thing. Somebody come in here and drop $1 million on the table, you taking that?
Yeah.
Are you gonna read through the contract and like try to formulate it to the point where it'll be geared towards you in the future?
Yeah, I definitely like wouldn't like. I take the money obviously, but it's like I'm like.
Are you stupid if you don't take the money though?
I mean, yeah. So like, let's say you get in an accident tomorrow, you can't sing no more. Like, damn, that's crazy.
Why you had to jump? You jumped straight to conclusions, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. Anything can happen.
So yeah, you gotta take the money.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like winning the lottery. You gotta take the money immediately for however much they tax you. You gotta take the money. But it's like this artist stuff. Would you go hire an agent and stuff like that? Like, would you take it to that, or do you just want to be your own brand? Do you want to formulate your own ideas, your own plans?
I mean, yeah, right now it's just like my own brand. I only do it. I mean, I say I do it as a hobby, but obviously I like to get big enough with it if I get good enough. Yeah. That's why I haven't dropped none, because I know my shit's ass right now.
You said it's not it.
Because once you start dropping shit music, niggas gonna be like, he makes shit music, especially in the what's it called,
the industry
or the social media age.
Oh yeah,
niggas gonna be like, oh, but remember he made this shit. So it's like,
so how do you know? Do you do like peer reviews, or how do you know when your
peer
stuff?
Reviews.
How do you know when your stuff is hard though?
Usually I send it to like some of my producer friends or people who like work with other rappers, and they be like, if it's ass, and
they be telling you.
Yeah, I tell them be honest, like be.
So what they say, bro? Give me your most recent peer review, bro.
So like last song I sent to my friend like maybe a week ago, he was like, yeah, the lyrics is ass, bro, and I was like, damn. So I work on that.
You take that criticism hard?
Sometimes, because like if I worked on it for like a week, niggas tell me that, I may take like a day or two off, sometimes a week, and it's like, damn. I'm just chilling like I'm really ass.
You going to your hole, bro? You going to your hole, fam? That's hilarious. Hey, it'd be like that, bro. I feel like that's a big thing that the next generation has to do a better job of, and that's taking criticism, bro. For real, straight up, in anything, bro. I'm glad you brought that up, bro.
I think I can take it because I literally asked them like, be honest.
Yeah. So has there been like one song that like Cash was like, yeah, this it?
Oh yeah, I think the first song I made was with one of my producer friends back in college, sophomore year, and he was we were just working on something. He made it a song, he shared it around school, and people were like fucking with it.
Yeah, they vibing. Hey, speaking of which, back in college, bro, we coming up on the kind of the time period of the pod where I like to, kind of hit you with some rapid fire questions, kind of end it. Former college athlete, still potentially thinking about getting back into it. Play running back, 2 co-running backs. So speaking of, he also coached running backs. With that being said, what is your favorite sport and why?
Favorite sport? Definitely football, not just because it's the best sport the sport I'm best at, but because it's like I grew up with it. Mm-hmm. Even though I was playing soccer first, like football was the first sport I really felt like, oh, this is something I can get good at. Mm-hmm. And then like basketball was always at second level, but it was like,
just like you're rapping, it just wasn't it.
Yeah, it just wasn't it. Just wasn't it.
All right, favorite sport, we got that out the way. Next question for you, favorite sports team? You are an Atlanta man.
Eagles. I know, it's crazy.
I keep forgetting this man is a Philly Eagles fan. My dad's
from
bro.
Philly. When I started watching NFL, I seen him cheering for Mike Vick and the Eagles, so I said, "Bait." Mike Vick was hard too.
But guess where Mike Vick played before the Eagles?
That's cool, but I didn't really watch him on the Falcons.
So do you not support the Falcons?
No, they cool. I wouldn't say like I hate the Falcons, but it's cool like when they lose 28-3, or they let niggas come back on them. I get to make jokes.
So okay, so the Falcons, for example, right now are I think 2-1. I think they just lost to Detroit.
Yeah.
You gonna support the Falcons if they go to the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, I always said they're gonna be in the playoffs. Like, I think they're a good team.
You like any other Atlanta sports besides the Falcons?
Hate the Hawks.
You hate the Hawks.
When them niggas bounced the Sixers a few years ago,
you hated the Hawks. Shit. You hate the Hawks.
I'm not trying to like. I don't hate them like Celtics. Like,
who's your favorite NBA team?
Sixers. I'm a Philly fan. Just a Philly fan.
This man will claim a city he really don't even associate with like that, bro. Let me ask, so do you like the Phillies over the Braves?
No, I fuck with the Braves more. Just because
the Braves hard. That's why.
I don't fuck with baseball though.
You only like the cold teams. That's really what it is. Yeah. You only like the cold Atlanta teams. Hey, it is what it is, bro. Another thing I like to do, especially with guests that I have on, bro. Like I said, we kind of hitting that 30-35 minute mark. With our generation, the attention span is very low. Okay. So let me just go ahead and give you the platform, give you the mic to say any last few things, any last few words on any of the 3 topics that we discussed, or anything that's just on your mind.
First thing, Christ is King. Shout out God, shout out Jesus, all of them. I already plugged my IG SWMal_36. I'm gonna start dropping music on there because even though I know I'm ass, I know I gotta start dropping some shit so somebody can fuck with it. You feel me?
Hey, there could be somebody out there who might like your artistry. Yeah, bro. Hey, all in all, bro, I appreciate you for coming on to the pod, and everybody tuning in. If you liked the discussion, if you hated the discussion, if you had any disagreements or anything that you want to get off your chest, please do not hesitate to drop in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. This is definitely the first of many.
Yeah, run it up.
With Kamal, you feel me? The first of many. He'll be back. You feel me? We'll definitely have some more episodes where I do more of my homework. And also, please drop in the comments if you would like to have longer segments or longer episodes when we have these one-on-one conversations. All in all, anything else you want to say, bro?
Everybody have a blessed day. Like I said, Christ King. Remember that. One above everything.
Peace and blessings, bro. Hey, until next time, everybody hold it down.
Amen.